Hey Maya, so here's my final presentation for CMCI1020. So the big issue that I was looking at was, do Americans care about the Major League Soccer, so obviously the main soccer league in the United States? The reason why I chose this issue is because I myself am a really passionate football soccer fan. I might interchange those terms throughout the presentation, so forgive me. So yeah, those are the two things that I guess sum up my big issue. So moving into the questions about my issue. So for the quantitative part, so the microbit, I asked a really simple one. Can you name a team in the MLS? If they could, I'd ask them to press button A on the microbit. If they could not, press button B. Super easy. So then for my qualitative questions, the first one was, have you been to a live MLS game? And then a follow-up question, if they answered yes to that one, was, where was the game and who was playing? And then the second qualitative question I asked was, do you watch MLS on TV? And another follow-up question there, if they said yes, was, how many games a week do you watch? So once again, super easy and super simple questions that I could easily gather data about. So in terms of how I went of collecting my data, I went to the UMC because I felt that the UMC was a really great location to get a diverse range of opinions. I felt, you get a lot of people who are sporty or know about sport, people who don't really know about sport. So I think the UMC was a great spot to get a range of, data sets from people who have all backgrounds in sport, if they care, if they don't care. So yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. So I collected 50 pieces of data within 80 minutes. I gave myself a 2-hour time span. I thought that would be definitely long enough to at least get 50. Turns out I got a bit shorter, so that was good for me. And then the way I asked was I just simply asked them, like, hey, would you be willing to participate in a survey about soccer? If they just said no, I was like, okay, I have a good one. If they said yes, obviously I dove into the questions. So for the quantitative component, so the microbit, so obviously out of the 50 people I surveyed, there were 18 people who could name an MLS team and 32 people who could not. So I thought I was a little disappointed in terms of how there was not a lot of people that could name a team, considering that most people could name a team in all 4 of the major sport leagues in America, so the NFL, baseball, basketball, and hockey, but no one could really do it for MLS. And then, funnily enough, there were like 2 groups of 6 people that took the survey, and they accounted for 67% of data in terms of who could name a team. So I thought that was a little odd, I guess. I didn't really expect it. So there was like, a group of 6 people just back to back who could name one. It was like groups of friends who were together like the new football. So that was interesting, I guess. So moving into my qualitative data, everyone who said they could name a team, just so happened to have been to a live MLS game before. And then of the people who said, yes, 15 of them went to games in Denver. So obviously the Colorado Rapids games, and then there was also an MLS All-Star game against Tottenham a few years back, which is held in Denver. I didn't ask, when the most recent game was. I just simply asked if they'd been to one and who was played. So I maybe could have been a bit more specific and asked the most recent one they'd been to. And then for the second part of my qualitative questions, only 6 people out of the 50 surveyed said that they do watch MLS on TV. I thought there was quite a low number. I mean, I do watch a game every week myself, and considering most people are from Colorado, and I felt like people who cared about it would definitely watch a game every week, but I didn't expect that data, so it was interesting to get that part of it. There's essentially the affinity diagram categories I had was just simply MLS on TV and MLS live games. There wasn't much of a direct correlation between them because, a lot of people, 18 people had been to a live game, and only 6 watch it every week. And I guess 3 of the 6 people do watch games twice a week, so that was interesting to find out. I chose those affinity diagram categories because they separate the data I gathered for the qualitative part, so pretty much breaking down those 2 questions I had. So now to bring it all together, the data told me that Americans don't really care about soccer. It's sad to see, but that's just how it goes. I was surprised to learn that no one really watches on TV either, out of the people who said yes, that they do go to live games. And then if I could continue this investigation, the questions that I would ask would be, why don't you know a team considering you know one in most other sports, if they can? And what would it take for you to support a team? Do you follow the United States during the World Cup? And then if they do follow the national team during the World Cup, why don't you follow a local team as well so you can keep the spirit and support rolling for the sport? Thank you.